deep.
That was just a practice run, guys. Love you, love. You ready?
Yes.
Honey, you're ready to go. Great. Hi, everybody. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me on this Monday night. Before we begin, I really would like to first introduce Hannah Rabinovitz. She's a very dear friend of Nolan and myself. I've known her for so many years. But it's no point me saying an introduction about myself, because I say, hi, my name's Janine, I'm so amazing, blah, 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 blah. But you know that already. Rather let someone who's a little bit not so biased to give me hopefully a glowing report. If not, stop the recording. Okay, Hannah.
I was thinking about it, and we've been friends for more than 20 years.
Wow.
It's the early 2000s. Yeah, definitely the early 2000s. So 2002, 3, I don't remember exactly, but somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Right, so luckily other friends brought Ronnie to us as a regular Shabbos guest when we lived in Melbourne, which was wonderful. And we got to know her well, and then pretty soon on, she used to come early all the time, so we could debrief and talk about whichever miserable date she had, or whatever date she was hoping to have. Anyway, so we would talk a lot about dating. But just to say succinctly that,
Oh my word. I did.
in big letters, so I didn't wear glasses, that Ronnie never gives up. She never gave up. And a lot of people get really depressed and down with dating and the whole experience and the miserable experiences, of which you had a lot, which is why you wanted to be. Ronnie's a very, very, very trusting soul, a wonderful friend and a very trusting soul. And those of you who love her and know her well know that she's a very trusting soul, and that was her strength, and it was also her downfall.
I'm listening, I promise. I just get distracted.
Okay. But her resilience, especially when she was hurt, her resilience is what kept her going, and her sense of humor. And in the end, finding Nolan.
Yay! Yay, Team Nolan.
Anyway.
Thank you so, so much. God bless you. Okay, you're all probably wondering, why on earth was I playing with pots, pans, lids while Hannah was talking? Besides being very, very rude, and I sincerely apologize. Sense of humor in action. You're going to find out why I did all that at the very end of the talk. And I promise you, the talk will go no longer than 3 days, 25 hours, 17 minutes, and 3 seconds. But you will find out by the end of the talk. That I promise you. I want to thank you all very much for coming, like I said earlier, for joining for this talk. Whether you're single, married, divorced, God forbid, widowed, even more, God forbid, or starting the ball rolling, no offense, Josh, or just everyone finding their path. It is very brave of you to come tonight, and I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also want to say a big thank you to H-shem. Thank you, H-shem, Ki le'olam chasdo, for giving me the siyata dishmaya to finding my match, Nolan Goldfein. I also want to give a big thank you to Tam Rabin. Well, we'll talk about her later if you want. For hosting tonight's talk. This has been a talk for so many, I guess my whole life, because I wasn't, actually no, they'll give away the rest of the talk. I want to give people chizuk. At the end of the day, I want to give every single one of you chizuk, whatever ball game you're in. You're single, you're married. Everyone knows someone who's single, unfortunately. When katamon, when the beat's up, when the vocharon, nofailan. No matter where we are, we honor someone who's struggling with this. And believe me, those are the pits. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a ball game. I loved it. I loved being single, going home to an empty house. It was great. It wasn't. Trust me. I put on a facade, lots of hands like, yeah, it's great being single. I can read on the couch, fall asleep on the couch. But rather be married. More about that later. I also want to thank to my husband, Nolan. You might look around and say, there's only females. Whoever does women only. I promise you, he's a man. But someone had to film it. Okay, so a big thank you to my husband, Nolan, for all your love, your support, your encouragement, for getting me to where I am today. Because if it wasn't for you, this would be coming off. I also want to give a big thank you to Hannah for all your emotional support. As she said, more than 20 years. I thought I was 21, 22. That's out of the bag, Hannah, I'm not. And also your yummy food. Like, that gave me a lot of support and a lot of weight. That's making why it took so long to find a shitter from all your yummy food. But I digress. Thank you, Tova Weinberg, in absentia. She's a very well-renowned shadchanit, Tova Weinberg. She sends her apologies. She's got good friends coming in town. I like to think maybe she's trying to find a shitter, but that's okay. Thanks to Chasya for organising the brochure for tonight's talk. It looks great. As you can see, you've got the crowd. Thank you to Lynn Myers, also an absentia. I'll have to say that word. She's a rabbi of our shul. She helped give me a lot of support. I don't want to lie. I also want to thank the Shadchanit who set Nolan and me up. That goes without saying. And also, I was meant to start off the talk saying this, but no Syrian. I want to dedicate this shiur in honor of my mum. Leole, Neshama, Hinda, Mariam, Bat Sipora, Rayla, and Yeshua Arya. I hope I got that right. My mum was an amazing woman. She dealt a lot within her life. Let's be honest now, she really dealt a lot. It wasn't finding the shiur. Trust me. She found my dad at the age of 21. Her claim to fame? I got married when I was 21 in 5 days. Sorry, Mum, it took me a bit longer, but in her court, may you give us all the chizuk, and may she pray for all of us, that for everyone. So I'm going to start. Okay, before we began, I got you all to get a sheet of paper and a pen. And like I said, I know we're in the 21st century. Let's go back a century. I want you all, it doesn't matter if you're married, it can be for your daughters, it can be for your best friend, it can be for whoever. People come for Shabbos lunch. I want you to write down your piece of paper the top 10 things that you're looking for in a spouse. And you do not need to worry. I'm not going to get you to read it out in public. I want you to be brutally honest to yourself. Even if you're happily married for more than 40 years, if you're married for more than 20 years, if you're starting to look, just write like, I want him to be, actually I'll say about myself, I want him to be tall, I want him to be thin. But I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. And when you're done, just give it a little hands up. No pressure. I see we've got 3 days, 24 minutes. Oh, 25 seconds now. Time goes quick. Only 10. Is anyone finished? I feel like we're writing the Tanakh.
Really hard.
It's hard, it's hard. I'll admit, it was very hard. I fully get that. If you got more than 6, we can stop. Has everyone got more than 6? Is it fair to say? No. You got 4?
Yes.
Great. Perfect.
Got 7.
You got 7? Perfect. Hannah, you've been having me for 40 plus years, but you've got granddaughters, I'm sure. Chava, you're going, that's fine. Barbara, you're going. Chai, you're going, that's good. Nolan, you better not be running down it. Okay, now, you've got your pen and paper still in your hands. Cross off 5 of them. If you've got 4, that's fine. Cross off 3. Cross off 3 that are not as important for you. It's hard, right?
Yeah, it's very
It's hard. Because, I want it to be this, I want it to be that, Just 3, which aren't as important for you. Things you're not willing to compromise on. Okay, to save time, because the last guy, 1 in the morning, you said, right? Yeah. You can do 2, you can do 3, but no less than 2, please. That's all I ask. I don't know if it's harder to write the list of 10 or to cross off. And remember, you're not reading this out. This is just for yourself, or for the person you're thinking of, or whatever the case may be. Has everyone crossed off at least 2?
Yeah.
Great. I'm mean. You know what I mean? No, I'm not that mean. Listen in a public forum. What I would like you to do, you got your paper? Put down your pen. Get your piece of paper, and I want you to rip it up. Rip it up. I'm not going to continue until everyone picks up their list. We'll begin right at this and try to be good. Good. You picked up yours. Excellent. Everyone picked it up? Great. First I play with pots. First I play with lids. Now to get a piece of paper. Okay, I'm not agreeing. I admit it, like, oh, paper, yeah, whatever. Lists are a waste of time. Nolan is 6'2", 6'3", right? I'm pretty tall. Do you agree? And I'm the short one in my family. My brothers will vouch for that, right? I'm the short one in my family. But you know what, guys? It didn't matter for me if Nolan was tall, if he was short, if he was this, if he was that. No, Nolan, you've got to have black hair, you've got to have contact from Monday through Thursday, you've got to be... Lists are a waste of time. What we think we want, seriously, what we think we want is the biggest waste of time. Who knows the best? Do you know the best, Kaya? Do you know what's best for your daughter and your sons in the future? Do you, Tam? Do you, Lisa? You think you know, right? You want what's best for your children. At the end of the day, we want what's best for our children. You know who knows the best? H-shem. H-shem knows what's best. Now, I know someone quite well, and I promised her I wouldn't say her name, but if she's watching this on YouTube, which she better, she will know who I'm talking about. She had a list. He's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to be that. No. But you know what, guys? You know what? He was the exact opposite of what she asked for. The exact opposite. Now, I'm not saying Nola's exact opposite of what I asked for. Trust me. It was everything I wanted for, but H-shem knew what was best for me. Okay. Oh, I did that all. Great. Okay. I want to tell you a bit about a background, can't get the words out, about myself. Chava I've never met before, but let me tell you a bit about myself, okay? My name is Renette, because we didn't gather that in the beginning. I was born and raised in Australia, the other end of the world, okay? And you know what? I was raised in a traditional home, loving, but a traditional home, okay? And I came to the realization, it was one Pesach afternoon. I was walking with my dad, walking along in Melbourne, and I said to my dad, nothing's happening in Australia. I've moved from Sydney to Melbourne, which isn't that long. It's an hour by plane, 12 hours by car if you do it with my dad. It's not a far distance, in all honesty. So I go and sit H-shem to Tel Aviv. It's doable. You can do it in one day. And I said, Abba, I'm not finding any luck in finding the shidduch. I moved from Sydney to Melbourne. What else do I have to do? I want to make a difference. I want to give you a son-in-law. You've got two beautiful daughters-in-law who are in the crowd. But I want to also give you a son-in-law. I'm the only girl. I've got two brothers. I want to give you a son-in-law. So I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? How can I do the hishtadlut? So I spoke to my aunt, you know, my dad's sister, and at the time she lived in England. And I said to her, I want to find a shidduch. What do I do? Now, some of you in the crowd are American. I don't have anything against Americans. Nothing against Americans, I promise you. Some of my fine friends are from America. But I said to her, shall I go to England or Israel? She goes, well, what do you want to go for? I said, to find a bishop. She goes, Renity, term of endearment, mark my words. You need to go to Israel. Nothing is happening in England. You need to go to Israel to find your bishop. No, show it to Israel. I don't know where you guys are from, but it's a long plane ride. Let's be honest, it's not like, oh, just go to Israel for the day, you know, hold all my calls, I'll be back. It's not like that. It's like fasting for Yom Kippur, you know, 24 hours, and you've only just done your first layover. I'm a Chosrei B'Teshuvah, as I mentioned, and you know what? People told me in the past, you know why you haven't found your bishop? You know why? And you know, like Khan introduced, I love a good laugh. So I was up for a good laugh. I said, why haven't I found my bishop yet? Come on, you're God. You tell me why haven't I found my bishop? You know what they said? They said, you're too fussy. and I wasn't the same age as I am now. Trust me, I was 20 years younger. Okay, I was 20 years younger, and they said, you're too fussy. So what do you mean I'm too fussy? They said, you want this, you want that, and I said, okay, I'll admit, I'm fussy. I want it to be my perfect match. Why am I being fussy? I want him to be a male. I am not going to compromise on that. I'm sorry, he's got to be a male. You're too fussy. So many things I'll compromise on. Height, okay, for another topic. Male, he had to be male. I'm sorry, like I'm not bursting everyone's bubble here, going, oh, yes, be male, yes, being fussy. Come on, he's got to be male, okay? And thank God he is. But you know what? You have to be realistic. What do I mean by be realistic? Do I really want someone who's got a good sense of humour? Yes. But is that going to be a make or break? I can't believe he didn't back me up on the second date. That's it, we're through. First date jitters. We've all got our first date jitters. When you go on the first date, as Hannah told me a long time ago, the first time you're on a date is a getting to know you basis. It's like, it's aeroplane talk. You know, like, you're not going to say, can you move over so I can jump over to get, you know, the drink from the air stewardess, plane is drink. But you're doing like general chit chat. Hey, how are you? What do you do for a living? See when there's a connection. And if there's a connection, carry on. Okay. I originally targeted this talk for female. Okay, and why did I do that for females only? Not to upset the men. Believe me, I've got a lot of flack. Why is it only for men? Shouldn't the men also be coming to these talk? Yada, 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 yada. All of a sudden I want to make a difference to all the men, hey? But you know what? My husband said, I can't give this talk to these ladies. Okay, he knows all of you in this room except a few of you, which is fine. He's a very friendly guy. He's married, sorry. But he said, how can I give this talk? H-shem is the one who helped him get the siyata d'shmaya, to get the help from H-shem. It's only him that can bring you and your beshed together. Very wise words. Also more wise words from Adan Kabi. He said, the Midrash says, finding your beshed, what's as hard as? What's a famous analogy we all know? As hard as? Kriyat Yam Suf, spreading the sea. Beautiful, well done. Thank you for the audience participation. But you know what? Did Moshe Rabbeinu, he's like, come on guys, let's go to H-shem. Oh, there's water. What are we gonna do? Did the water just open up? No. Who did H-shem get? He got B'diuk. Kol hakavod, Nachshon ben Amidav. Don't know what H-shem chose him. I can't even pronounce his name. We'll just call him Nachshon, because we all know we're on a first name basis. Nachshon jumped in, and he was the one who went to the sea, and only then it did a split. He was the one who took the plunge. Okay? So why didn't the man come to the talk? Is the man doing the plunge? Okay. Another time maybe. It's all for H-shem. We all have to do our hishtadlut. Like for me, if I can talk about myself, my family will vouch. I love talking about myself. I did the effort. I moved halfway around the world from Australia to Israel to find my beshed. Believe me, my sisters-in-law and their families were not here at the beginning. And it was very challenging. I missed out on a lot of things. Nieces, nephews, first day of school, chalikas, this, But thankfully they've made up for it and had more kids since then. Thank you very much, guys. The famous Rabbi Nachman of Breslov said, it's natural for people to have questions against God. Trust me. Okay? I had a lot of questions. Believe me, when I go upstairs, when I'm 120, I'm going to have a lot of questions. Longer than this speech, believe it or not. I used to always come to Hannah's, as Hannah rightly put it, I put in my debrief session. Do you remember? Every week. Thursday night, Hannah's cooking for Shabbos, and I'm like crying my eyes out, and it's not from the onions. I assure you it's not from the onions. It's like, Hannah, you know, yada, yada, yada. We question ourselves. Why, God? Why are you doing this to me? Why am I still single? This one's getting married. This one's having a baby. This one. And what about me? We question ourselves, all right? We go out on a date and we question ourselves. Why, God? I got all dressed up, I dressed to the nines, I did this, but no, you want me to still wait? Why? Why we ask ourselves, what am I doing wrong? You know what? Life is a test. I remember distinctly saying to my sisters-in-law, I know I'm going to find my best shape, hopefully. I hope, I pray, everything. I just wanted the crystal ball. I remember distinctly saying it to them. I want the crystal ball. Say, right, Reniti, look into the crystal ball. On the 26th of February 2017, you are going to find your best shape. Coincidentally, that's the right date. Or the 25th. I remember the wedding anniversary. But the thing is, I wanted the crystal ball. I wanted to find out it's going to be then. But you know what? Life's not a crystal ball. If we knew the end result, it wouldn't be a test. The late Reverend Nestor Yugras, she wrote a book, Life is a Test. Oh, believe me. Oh, believe me. Take me when I'm 120 and I've got lots of questions. Nolan also said something very beautiful. H-shem wants us to go through this. And a person asks, why? Why? But it says in Yeshayahu, just as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. This is what H-shem says himself. Now the main thing is to do hishtadlut and not miss out on any opportunities. Any, I emphasize. Everyone has a fear of missing out. You know, you go in the shift say, oh, but if I go with him, then I've ruled out all these other guys, and if I get married to him, then I'm not going to be married to the other guys. We're a monogamy religion. We believe in only marrying one person. We're not like our cousins, as it were, who believe in marrying more than one person. Imagine the alimony there. But what I'm saying is, you just want to have one. You don't want to feel missing out. H-shem knows what he's doing when he chooses your b'shem. He really, really, really does. As I'm sure my husband will vouch for that. Nolan had a great friend called David Hirschfeld, and unfortunately he passed away at a very young age, 50, 51, give or take. He was a very dear friend to Nolan. He was like a mentor, gave him a lot of chizuk and whatnot. And unfortunately he succumbed to cancer. And I had the great zchut of getting to know him before his passing, obviously. And he said to Nolan, when we were dating, he said to him, if you're more than 50% sure of getting married, you should get married. Now 50% is quite a lot. You can look at 50%, oh, there's another 50 that's missing, or you can look at 1 or 2. 1 out of 2, sorry. But you know what? No one can be more than 80 to 90. You can't be 80, 90% sure of getting married. It's the right person. You're married because it's impossible to be 80 to 90% sure. Well, I might be the exception to the rule. I was 100% sure. But the thing is, you can't be 100% sure. If you feel like there's something there, go with it. Go with it, I say. The whole thing of a marriage, pretend you're the Nafshon Ben Amni Dav, hope I said the name right this time, is take a jump and run into the sea. You can do it. You really can. You would surprise yourself. I'm doing this talk. I'm surprising myself now. Here are some examples that are all relevant for people who are wanting to marry. Okay? There are certain things that are must. I use that term very, very loosely. You have to be attracted physically to the person. Now the thing is, I can be attracted to the famous actor. Wow, he's so hot. But you know what? The chances of me marrying him and him being more than 50% sure of marrying me, a bit less than 0. But you know what? I have to be attracted physically. It's the first thing I see in the morning, and it's the last thing I see at night. Now there are some days my poor dear hubby has to wake up at 5 in the morning, okay? And I don't see him. Obviously he's always in my dreams and my thoughts in my heart, but I don't see him. But sometimes he'll say, bye Niti, I'm going off to work. So I open up my eyes for a split second and I've seen him. And it's the last thing I see at night. So I have to have some form of physical attraction to that person. I always believe there are 3 types of guys, okay? There's one where we believe in the concept of shemei negia, like not to touch until you're married. If you do, you don't. I don't judge. I won't even talk about you behind your back. If you want, I will. That's for another time. But there are three types of guys. If they touch you, you're like, oh, you're like a spider, right? You don't want anything to do with them. Or if they touch you, like, oh, where were you all my life? Be still, my beating heart. Be still, be still. Or there's another type of guy, you just go like, it could work. It could work. You have to get on with the person. Let's be honest, you have to get on with the person. I can get on with Barbara. I'm like, oh, she's a fun person. Remember? I'm being fussy, it's got to be a guy. Sorry, Barbara. You have to like each other when you see each other. You've got to get little butterflies, like, oh, I'm going to see him again. Like for me, I'm very chutznik. I'm very like Anglo. When I'm at work, my phone's off. Hopefully people have called me repeatedly and I tell them, they now know, don't call me when I'm at work. And in the olden days, I used to leave my phone on. And every now and again, you hear a little ding. You're like, I wonder if that's from Nolan. I wonder if that's from Nolan. So you want to be excited to hear from them when you get great news. You know, like when my sisters-in-law were saying, oh, I'm having a baby. Who's the first person I want to call? My husband. And then phone. Oh, the sisters-in-law talk amongst each other, so they know each other's news more than me. And you have to make sure they're a good person. Your best friends don't have to like them. It helps, trust me, it helps. But you have to also have a chemistry, you and them, because it's kind of important. Like, and a stable income, you know, you don't want them to be like shooting drugs every day. You want to give them nachas. You know, like I'm sure my sisters-in-law, you know, ooh, what is your potential? Oh, he's a lawyer and he's a doctor. I also wanted to get nachas from, you know, like, he's a musician, even where they talk. And then you have to take the plunge. You know, it could be the older we get, the fussier we become. Okay, there are some people